Hi, I'm on day 5 of my walk along the Cambrian Way in Wales. I've just left the trekking centre campsite at Capel-y-Ffin and I'm heading up to my first high point. It's called Twimper. So I'm just gonna, the first part of the walk, I'm just going up through a valley. There is an alternate way which is going up onto the big steep hill up there, but I did that last year and I remember that's quite a steep climb first thing in the morning, so I'm just going the easy way up through the valley. So today I'm doing a 16-mile walk to Crickhowell and I'm hoping it'll be a nice sunny day today. It's I know this part of the route, it's a really scenic route and it's a very easy one. It's just following a ridge. So it should be a good day for walking today. This is a very pretty valley. There's 2 or 3 good camping spots here as well. I'll have to remember that if I ever do a north to south walk of the Cambrian Way. Just about halfway to the top. Well, just my opinion, but I think walking up through the valley is a much nicer way to get to the top than going up onto the ridge. It's a lot easier and it's a very picturesque route, and also you get a chance to fill the water bottles up with water before going on the next part of the walk. Just arrived at the top, and this is the views looking northwards. This is looking westwards. This is the route I'll be taking today. I'll be following this ridge which goes down to Crickhowell, and I can see just over in the distance, I think that's Capel-y-Ffin, and that's the highest mountain in the Brecon Beacons, and that's where I'll be heading to when I leave Crickhowell. So I'll be walking westwards for the next few days. Right, time to continue onwards. A bit breezy up here. I'm just going to continue along the ridge. getting quite close to Capel-y-Ffin now, I think about 4 miles or so. So I'm just following this path along the ridge up to that high point, and then it's all downhill. Helicopters dropping a lot of stuff up here, so whether they might be laying a path or something. Starting to see Capel-y-Ffin down in the valley. So it should be there in about an hour or so. That's where I'll be heading up to after Capel-y-Ffin. I think it's the Brecon Beacons. It's a chain of mountains going from west to east, and I'll be following those over the next few days to Llandovery, I think it's pronounced. Yes, looks like there's going to be a nice new path coming up here soon. That's Tabletop Mountain, just down there. So I'm heading down to there now, then have a little break and then carry on to the town. And that'll be the end of today's little walk. So the name that was given to the Iron Age hill fort that used to be on top of Table Mountain, that's how the town of Capel-y-Ffin got its name. I'll just put the old name of the hill fort at the bottom of this screen. I'm not going to go up there, I've seen enough panoramic views today. I'm just going to head down into the village for a nice cup of tea now. Just arrived in Capel-y-Ffin at the end of a nice walk on a lovely spring day. So now I'm just going to check into my hotel. So when I arrived in Capel-y-Ffin, I decided to pop home for a few days because the weather forecast, it was below freezing for the next few nights. So I thought I'd just pop back home for a few days and do a bit of a kit swap. So I've got my Terra Nova tent. I'm trying out a new rucksack as well. So this stage of the walk, it's a 50-mile walk from Capel-y-Ffin to Llandovery, and I'm going to spend just over 4 days doing it. I've just arrived in Capel-y-Ffin. It's about 1 o'clock now. I just arrived on the bus, and all I'm doing today, I'm just going to walk for about an hour or so and look for a camping spot. There's some public access land just outside the village, and then I'll be spending the next 4 days after that walking to Llandovery. There's a bit of a steep climb, about a couple of miles out of Capel-y-Ffin, but the view's quite nice at the top, and I think there's a bench at the top as well to have a nice sit down. I think the next few miles are quite easy going anyway, so getting quite close to where I'm hoping to camp tonight. some nice views of the route I took from Capel-y-Ffin the other day. So from here I'm just going to travel along this valley now, and the first decent camping spot I'll be stopping there for the night. I'm about 3 miles out of Capel now, and I've decided to stop in this nice wide flat area. I've found a nice quiet spot in amongst the trees, so I'm just going to settle down here for tonight. And then tomorrow, I think it's quite an easy walk. I've only got about 10 miles to do tomorrow, although there's a couple of steep walks. The first part is just a boring walk along a road, and then I'll be heading up to my first place of interest, which is the Chartist Cave. So just going to settle down now and then continue my journey tomorrow. So until tomorrow morning, good night. Today it's a gradual uphill walk up to a high point. I'll put the name at the bottom of the screen, and then from there I'm just going to head down into the valley on the other side, where I'll be looking for a camping spot for tonight. There's a stretch of road to follow for a couple of miles or so. There are some scenic views along here, but it'll be nice to get off the road back onto the moorland again. It's a nice sunny day again today, but there's a very chilly wind up here. So when I'm looking for a camping spot tonight, I know where I'm going. I'm heading for a gully, which will be out of the wind, and there'll be water as well, so should be a good place to spend the night. I'm just approaching the Chartist Cave. I know at the cave there's a plaque which explains the history of the cave, but the history dates back to the 19th century. There was a political movement known as Chartism, and it was working people trying to expand equal rights. So for example, at that time only rich landowners could vote and so on, and there was a lot of Chartists who were jailed in Newport, and so the other Chartists, they decided to try and go down there and free them. And so in this cave they hid a lot of weapons which they used to try and get them out of prison, and they went down there in November 1839, but unfortunately for them the army stopped them and several people were killed, and so the movement failed. So I'm just approaching the cave now to have a little look around. So this is the plaque. Quite a large cave actually, so this is where they would have hidden all the weapons. This is a very impressive valley. And from here, I guess that's just over on the horizon, that's Capel-y-Ffin. So I'll be going up there tomorrow morning. Just arrived at my last high point of the day. So that's where I came from this morning. That's Capel over in the distance. And I can see the mountains I'll be going up tomorrow morning, just over in the distance. So my plan for tonight, there's a high point over there just to the left of that big forest. I'm going up there tomorrow morning. The plan is just to the left of the forest, there's a big gully, so I'm hoping to find a camping spot there for tonight. I ended up having to walk almost to the top of that gully to find a camping spot, but I found quite a decent spot just here. I was just trying to stay out of the wind. There's a bit of a easterly wind, but it doesn't seem too bad now. So tomorrow morning I'm going up there, and then I'm following a ridge along to Capel-y-Ffin. So I've only got about 9 miles to do tomorrow, but there's a lot of uphill walking. But I'm just going to settle down, make a coffee, and then tomorrow morning I'm heading up to the top again. So until tomorrow morning, good night. Well, that was quite a nice quiet night. The wind dropped down, and I think it's going to be quite sunny this morning. So today I'm heading up to my first peak. I think it's pronounced Capel-y-Ffin, and then I'll be going along the main peaks of the Brecon Beacons. Just got to the top. If I remember when I did this bit last year, this next bit, it's a really nice walk. I'm just following a ridge along to the next the peak, which is Ffin. And I think there's some really nice views along the way. So this is quite a nice part of the walk. So I can see where I'll be going today. Again, any Welsh people watching this video, I'm very sorry about the way I pronounce these names, but I'm going up to the first high point, which is Ffin. Then after that is Cambrian. Then after that I'll be going up Capel-y-Ffin, and then I think it's Corn-du, and then I'll be heading down and looking for a camping spot again for the night. Just arrived at the top of Ffin. It's quite an easy walk coming up to here, but I definitely remember that the walk up to Cambrian is quite a steep one, and of course Capel-y-Ffin is quite a steep walk as well. But I've got loads of time to do this section of the walk. Right, just going to have a little sit down and then continue. One bit of advice for doing this section of the walk is don't do it on a weekend, because if you go up to Capel-y-Ffin on a Saturday or Sunday, there'll be about 1,000 day trippers up there. They're queuing up to take selfies on the summit, so it does get very busy up there. And it's the same with Snowdon, because of course there's a train that goes up to the top of Snowdon. So what I'll be doing, when I got to Snowdon, I'll be breaking the walk into 2 days. So I'll be camping as close as I can to the summit on day 1, and then going up to the summit very early on day 2. And I do know there's one route called the Miners Track. There's a couple of good camping spots there, so I'll probably be camping up there and then getting up to the summit quite early in the morning. Just arrived at the top of Capel-y-Ffin. So one more steep walk for today, just going up Capel-y-Ffin. So just going to go down to the bottom, have a drink of water, and then start the last uphill walk of the day. Very nice path going up to the top. Should be there in about 10 minutes time. Just got to the top, so just going to have a little sit down and take some photographs. I can see over in the distance the route I took from Twimper down to Crickhowell, just over on the horizon. So I think this will be looking northwards. So now I'm just going to head over to the top of Corndhu and then head down towards my camping spot for the night. So from here I'm just going down to Storey Arms, and then a couple of miles after that I'll be looking for a camping spot. So just after Storey Arms, I'm going up onto that ridge just on the other side of the road, and on the other side, about a couple of miles away, there's a couple of nice streams, or I hope to find a nice camping spot for tonight. Just leaving Storey Arms, so just a small place, just a few houses and a bus stop, but there's a burger bar here, which is a handy place to stop for lunch. So I've just had a little break here. Now it's just the last couple of miles for the day. Some nice views again. I'm just approaching 3 streams within about a mile of each other. So I'm going to look for a camping spot beside one of them. I was watching a YouTube channel the other day. It's called 4 Seasons Backpacking. And there was a guy called Richard, and he did this walk recently and he made a YouTube video on it. And I think he found quite a good spot next to one of these streams. But I think I may continue on to the 3rd stream, because that's where I camped last time, and there's a nice spot and there's quite a strong internet signal there. And there's a big hill there, so I'll get that out the way, so I don't have to do that tomorrow morning. That high point just ahead, I can just see a trig point on the top. I think that's where I'm going tomorrow morning. But now I'm hoping to find a camping spot in this valley. Just arrived at my camping spot for tonight. It's the same place I stopped at on my previous visit here. It's a really nice spot. It's just a bit exposed to any northerly winds, but there's just going to be a very nice southerly breeze tonight, so that won't be a problem. I think I'm getting quite a lot of footage now. I must have got about 30 minutes now, so I think I'm going to upload this video when I get to Llandovery, and I'm going to start a new video tomorrow morning. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to upload my next video soon. Bye.